for my first question, so you work with both, kind of commercial projects, also video game projects, anime projects. With all of that going on, do you find yourself in a different creative mindset when you're working on one versus the other?
The funny thing about commercials now, a lot of them have character-based aspects to it. So you're literally just doing your best to play a real person. In fact, a lot of commercial things that I've seen that have come along are now asking for a person that sounds nothing like a voice actor. They want that sound like they just found someone on the street sort of thing. So when you're prepping, if it's a character-based one, you're fine. If it's one of those, the new Nissan sort of thing, then it's going to be a little bit different. But the prep would be totally different for a character base as opposed to commercial. Because commercial, they're kind of like, here's the script, let's do it line by line, let's do that line again. No, let's change that, make this word a little more bright. So, and bright sort of just means like add a little. So if it's like, if it is Nissan, the all new Nissan, or the all new Nissan, that's just different inflections on the word itself. And that happened in character work too.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmie, your journey into voice acting is incredibly inspiring. You mentioned that you wrote your college thesis on voiceover before, but waited nearly 2 decades to pursue it professionally because of your failure.
Yes.
Now you're starting in this massive, globally beloved games. Can you take us back to that moment when you finally decided to take the leap, and what does it feel like now to be living a version of the dream you held onto for so long?
Okay, so I wrote the senior capstone thesis because I was inspired by an anime. The anime that inspired me to become a voice actor to begin with was Fruits Basket. And the character that inspired me was Toru Honda. So fast forward years later, I wanted to get into voiceover, and I tried and I failed. A lot of it had to do with self-doubt. A lot of it had to do with, when you just don't believe enough in yourself that you can do it, despite what anyone else tells you. You just sort of give up on yourself. That's what happened. And it wasn't until a close friend, Brian, and my wife were kind of like, try it again. So that's when the pandemic came along, and I actually had my very first opportunity where I went, you know what? Okay. All right, let's try it again. And I did it, and I started auditioning for things, and one of the first things I booked was Crimson Spires. And that was the first one where I really got to finally start doing a character going into a video game style aspect of things. And then to transition to now, it still feels like I'm in a foggy dream landscape. It's one of those things where you don't feel like you're here sort of things. That's how I am right now. I am so grateful and so lucky, because this is a tough field that a lot of people strive for. And to be able to sit here and meet fans who have been so kind, it means everything.
Well, first off, I'd like to welcome you as far as being your first convention.
Oh, thank you.
Definitely appreciate you coming to Anime Magic, and being here with us. My question is going to be, so Fatal Fury.
Yeah.
So that is the first one in a long time that I can think of as far as it coming back. How does it feel to be working for such a long, explain the experience working for that franchise?
When you get to work for a big, bold company like that, the nerves kick in. Oh, the nerves kick in, especially if you're just starting, you're kind of new. And I wasn't like brand new, fresh, but when you start getting the bigger companies, your nerves hit. But there's a certain thrill when you get to finally complete it, and you sit there and you wait, and then finally it comes out and you're like, oh, I finally got to see it. That feeling like just brings this sort of elation to you, and you have to do that thing where when you first start doing voiceover, you record the thing and then you listen to yourself. You're like, oh. let's just throw this away. This is terrible. Nobody should ever hear this ever again. You have to get over that so that you can enjoy all the work, the art that you've helped to create. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. That one was a lot of fun to do.
I understand that you had worked on many video games like The Sims, Warrior, and stuff like that. What was one of the most challenging projects you worked on?
It's probably my most recent one was the most challenging, or the most recent one that came out. I started recording it, I want to say in 2023. It's for 2XKO, where I had to be Yasuo from League of Legends, which means that I was playing a legacy character. So I had to make sure that I did my best. I practiced constantly, just to make sure that I gave the best that I could. And I still practice Yasuo to this day. Every now and again, like every other week, I will like practice him because he is such an iconic and important character. And Liam O'Brien he's pretty much Liam the Rembrandt O'Brien. He is a master at his craft. He is so good, and it feels like he does it so effortlessly that I had to make sure that I could at least fill some of his shoe, because it is almost physically impossible to replace someone as good as he is. So that was probably my hardest role.
All right. So one of the many projects that you work on is you have your own recording studio, and so how did that come to life? Did you ever envision that being a part of your career and your day to day?
When I first wrote the thesis, part of now that I think about it, part of the reason I also didn't pursue it is because they're like, you're gonna have to move to LA, and I'm like, I don't think that's gonna happen. So that was part of the reason I postponed, but technology improved. And the very first thing is work in a closet. Put a bunch of clothes around you, work in a closet. And then I bought a house. We had a spare room, so I created custom sound panels to help do sound dampening. I got a silent PC. I did everything step by step. And then as I started to earn money, I started setting that aside so I could buy the Whisper booth, the Pro booth where I could do that. But I still use the custom sound panels that I made to this day. Yeah. They're like my bass trap up in there, and then I have them on other sides. And then I actually have Miyazaki wall drapes over those panels now, so that now they're a little more decorative. But yeah, I never thought I would own a pro booth like that, but when I was given the opportunity, I jumped on it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Focusing on Hugo Vlad, one of the most brilliant things about the character is that he's essentially an actor himself. He's consciously performing the role of a villain to achieve his goal. What was it like to tackle that meta challenge? How did you approach voice acting a character who is himself putting on a performance for everyone around him?
You pull from yourself a little bit, because everybody puts on a face, a mask, when they're around different people. That's Hugo's mask. That's not the true him. He knows it, and I think the people who love him know it as well. So he drops the mask when he's around like Vivian, and he drops it around Lycon. But he wears the mask for everyone else because he does not, in my opinion, want to appear weak. Not anymore. Mm-hmm.
So, within video games, what would you say would be your most wanted role? What would you want to be as part of, as far as in video games, or it even could be in anime if you wanted to go in that direction?
Oh,
what would you want to be voicing
a part
the
of?
most? Yeah.
If it's a video game, on my bucket list is Final Fantasy. I want to be in Final Fantasy. And I've said it a couple of times. I don't care if I'm Shopkeeper B. Just to be in it would be an honor. It would make me so happy. In anime, right now, in the modern franchises, I want to be in Frieren. I adore Frieren. Frieren, campfire cooking is one of my favorites right now too. Either one of those. Again, if I'm shopkeeper B, or I'm one of the knights that gets to eat the meal, or I'm some random demon that Freeren's just like, I would be thrilled.
Excellent. Thank you.
Alright, so keeping with the video game theme, you do have a pretty deep background in video game voice acting. Did you grow up as a gamer, and based off of that, maybe Final Fantasy was a big part of your childhood? And are you still a gamer?
Yes.
Are you still keeping up with it?
Oh yes, I even brought my Switch.
Oh, you brought it to the
Oh yeah. So currently, my current game that I'm playing is Unicorn Overlord, because and the game that I just actually finally beat was Three Houses.
Okay.
So growing up, video games for me were something that I did with my dad.
Okay.
He would take me to the old school arcades. We'd get a bunch of quarters. We'd go and we'd play. There was this crossbow one where you would like move a crossbow around. There was Ninja Gaiden. I remember Ninja Gaiden or Shinobi, where you press the magic button and he would fly all over the place, and we would get so excited. And then one day, now I'm showing my age again, he brought home a Sega Master System. And so some of my best memories with my dad are sitting down on our super soft brown couch and just playing Black Belt, Fantasy Zone. And the thing that actually sparked my interest in RPGs was Phantasy Star 1. So I got that one first, and from that day on, I fell in love with RPGs. And now they're my dominant game source.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Without talking about any specific unannounced role, fans have had a massive visceral reaction to performances that feature a particular vocal quality. It's animalistic, predatory growl. It's a sound that feels almost unhuman. From a technical standpoint, how do you create a sound that's safely consistent? And creatively, what headspace do you have to get into to deliver a performance that sounds so primal?
When you are doing a performance that requires you to have strong emotions, a lot of actors use different techniques, and I highly recommend it. Some stick to one thing, some pull a little bit from everything. For me, I'm very lucky to do growly voices or roars and stuff is a little more natural for me in my vocal range and resonance. So for me, it's not necessarily a physical danger. I can just physically do it. It's one of, I guess, my gifts, as you could say. To get in the headspace, everybody's been through it. Everybody's been through it at some point. And, whether it's the idiot that cuts you off in front of you while you're driving and you're like, and you want to throw the car away because you're Magneto or something in your mind. That sort of thing, you just draw on it. Just draw on the experiences that you've had in your life that will help to give that oomph, that humanistic feel to it.
A lot of voice actors nowadays are taking up streaming as a VTuber.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to create a VTuber persona, what kind of traits would it be? An animal? Would it be a demon?
I've hemmed and hawed over this because I'm like, should I do it? Would that be fun? Do I have the time for something like that? My initial instinct is to go against the grain of myself, I guess, and do a cute little animal. That is like something adorable and funny, but with this deep, bassy, resonant voice coming out of it. I think it would just be fun, and then you could have the thing like go across the screen.
Like a deep-voiced capybara or something like that.
Something. Making it. But yeah, if I had to do that, my initial instinct is to say an animal. Other than that, I might do. My favorite color palettes are blacks and purples together when black and purple are blended. So I'd want the character to have something of that nature, maybe in the clothing content, or sometimes they have cool things that go up around their head. That's probably where I would roll. What they would be, I don't know yet.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone just starting in voice acting?
Oh, all right. Give me a second. I'm going to take a drink of water so I can give you the trifecta. All right. So when you just want to start voice acting, I want you to keep 3 things in mind. These aren't the only things, but these are really core pillars. It's sort of like the triforce, if you will, of voice acting. You need to focus on the acting. It's not about the voice. The voice is what comes out of you. The acting is what provides the fuel. That acting is the most important thing. A lot of people, when they first start, make the mistake of, I need to do a silly voice. That's not going to get you what you need. Can you take that silly voice and make it cry? Can you make it angry? Can you make it sad? Can you make it in love? Can you give it heartbreak? Does it know what it feels like, the panic when you lose your dog? That's where the acting comes from. The best metaphor I can come up with is think of a stage light, like even the lights here. If you have a brilliant bright light, which is your acting, and then you put a cellophane of blue or red or green, those are your voices. If you have that beautiful bright light, you're going to get a beautiful color that shines down below. The next one, be good at cold reading. You need to be good at cold reading. You need to be able to just get a script in front of you and just do it. And that's going to require your brain to go, I understand the words, and then I can also give the emotion and the voice all at the same time. And that comes with practice and training. And the other one, thick skin. No matter what you do, whether you're good, whether you're bad, you can be brilliant, you can be perfect. People are still going to say horrible things. So you have to be ready for it. If you do it and you stick with it, you get used to it, and it just sort of rolls off your back for the most part.
Great. So, kind of aside from the last question I had regarding the recording, so you worked in some live music production. So how did that journey start, and what are some of your biggest musical influences that got you there?
Okay. So I used to work as a stagehand backstage at concerts. And my dad got me that because he was also a roadie back in the day. But he was also a jazz musician, so they kind of went hand in hand. I needed summer work, so he helped me sort of get into the field. So I did that for a while. I worked concerts like Chicago, Def Leppard, Earth, Wind, Fire, Rihanna, stuff like that. My biggest musical influences when I was growing up were my favorite band, I think, of my youth is probably Garbage. I also loved No Doubt back in the day. That was another one. As time went on, I ended up really liking Evanescence. I also liked very folksy things. I would listen to like Jewel as well. And then as I got older, I ended up shifting into like this very broad, eclectic spectrum of music because you just get, ooh, that sounds cool, that sounds cool. So it's anything from literally, it'll be something like Sanctuary from Kingdom Hearts, then next could end up being Garbage, then it could be No Doubt, then it could be, what else do I have on my playlist right now? It could be Frank Sinatra, it could be like Metallica, stuff like that, harder music. That I like the spectrum of things, but a lot of the times when I'm driving, I listen to orchestral things of video game music, things like that, just because I think the compositions are so beautiful.
Especially with Final Fantasy, I know you mentioned there's so many beautiful compositions.
The composition for Final Fantasy is some of the best, and it is generational almost. It's generational music because it's passed down. Game after game, you'll hear the intro theme. You'll hear the victory theme. These are iconic songs that generations get to experience. And then when it's done in a symphony, which I haven't gotten to do yet, which I'm hoping to get to do, it like blows you away. One of my favorite things to do is go to movies with an orchestra, where it like when the brass and the strings come in, it knocks you off your feet. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jimmie, has any specific piece of fan feedback or fan art ever particularly moved you? Does interacting with that passion or ever influence your approach to a character in an ongoing project?
When I look at comments occasionally, if they're not like, the cruel ones or that you just kind of go, yeah, okay, whatever. But if they're like, I kind of wish this had happened, I go, okay, I kind of see why you like that. So I take that as a note in my brain and store it for later. And if another character comes up where it's a similar situation, I'll go, so when you do voice acting, it's ABC, which means not ABC. It means do it 3 different ways. So you can throw that into your A take, your B take, your C take, and just see if it works. Maybe the director will take it, maybe not. But you gave it a shot anyway. Mm-hmm.
Kind of a bonus question, I guess you could say.
Yeah, let's bonus it up.
If you were to have what is your favorite snack? And it could have been something that ever existed in the past, and you could be
You're coming up with the S tier question. Oh man. Favorite snack. One of my favorite foods is authentic ramen.
Authentic ramen.
Yeah. Ironically, the best ramen I've ever had was in Philly.
Now, is it spicy or is it regular?
I like the tonkotsu ramen. That's my favorite. But I love all. There's also the tantan, where they add in the sesame. Mm-hmm. I love that too. But if it's just like a snack, my go-to snack, I have a sweet tooth, so it's either going to be like gummies and chocolate. That's where I go. I just found out that for me, all right. So when you're a voice actor, so when you're a voice actor and you're working on the mic like this, let's see if there's little clicky sounds in the mouth when you move. Those are a nightmare for the engineers, so you want to get as many of those out as you can. I'm so sorry to all of the engineers if my mouth was too much. So people have tips and tricks that they like to try. Some people say, use a green apple. I don't like the green apple. It doesn't work. All the green apple does for me is give me the sour taste and then make my stomach sound like a South Park mob scene where it's just like rabble, 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 rabble. And so then it's just ruining takes anyway. So the green apple doesn't work for me. But what I have found is that healthy fats, olive oil, avocado, if I have some of that before I go into a session, it helps to mitigate it. And then, because of the sweets, I've just found out because when you get a dry throat, some people say drink hot Jello, and that can help. I'm going to try that soon. I eat a couple of like gummy bears or something like that. And because there's gelatin in it, if you eat them slowly, it'll help to coat your throat and eliminate some of the clicks. It's just what I've found. I have to do a test. I want to actually do a scientific test where I do a recording after I'm dehydrated, I've done a run, and then I record it all. And then there are things that do mouth click tests where it can see the number of mouth clicks. And then what I'll do is do, a control group where it's just me on a normal day, I'm hydrated, get that as well. And then I want to try, after that control, try doing the different things. Have some olive oil, eat an avocado, drink a thing of Jello. Well, that's not going to be delicious. It might be. And then eat the gummies, just to see if that will affect or change anything. Just so that, because everything's just sort of like, hey, why don't you try this? But there's no like actual data sets to go, this person tested it, this was the change. I think that would be fun to do one day.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So just to kind of round it out for me, you've talked a lot about RPGs and those being your go-to. If you had to just choose 3 RPGs to play for the end of days.
What are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? Wait, no. Are you saying franchises, or are you just say pick a specific
we'll go
game?
Franchises.
Thank you. Oh man. Right now, Final Fantasy's in there. And as it stands right now, Claire Obscure.
Yeah, that was an amazing game.
It was one of those things where you watch a trailer and you're like, that looks cool. That looks interesting. And then you actually get it and you play it and you go, why is my heart on the floor? It was so viscerally beautiful in its aesthetic. The acting was out of this world. And the score?
Yeah.
The score? Oh my god. All right, so yes, Claire Obscure, Final Fantasy, and if I had to pick one more, I could add this into the other question of if you wanted to be in a franchise, Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger. If they ever do a remake of Chrono Trigger, or an additional one, a sequel of some kind, I would want to be in that. If I had to pick from the core cast that I would want to be, I would want to be Magus. Yeah.
Great choices.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Can you give me one line Hugo Vlad would say after winning a round of Street Fighter?
Is that the best you could do? Or, it seems like someone lost their moonlight.
Thank you, Jimmy.
You're welcome.
I have not a question.
All right.